very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and the achievement of the Corporate Affairs Commission. I am Amina Jibril. Coming up on CAC Weekly, Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON applauds CAC's record keeping. And as more Nigerians apply for the registration of limited liability partnerships, LLPs, and limited partnerships, LPs, company law expert x-rays LLP concept for us. Plus, we take you on a trip to register a company directly with the CAC. We'll be right back after this break. Do stay with us.
We are human beings. People could put documents in a wrong file. Some of the staff that are complaining, telling the gentleman that they have not been trained. These were staff that were agents to some of you. Yes, they were getting some money to facilitate transactions for customers. That window is not there. They are frustrated, so they visit their frustration on the system. We know. Most of you had contacts within CAC. Most of you. When you have anything, you call Abuja, you have somebody within CAC that will follow your file from table to table. For a fee. Yes, that was the reality. That system is not there. So some of them are frustrated. The extra money, they are not getting it. When every issue they complain about, we know them. So this system will work. It's working and it will work to perfection. I can assure you on that. So please, when we request you to send documents, we are not doing it because we want to punish you. It was very likely that the document was not inside the file. So we cannot ask you to refile. If you have your own copies, submit. We know our signatures, we know our documents. On the strength of that, we'll update the database. So it's faster and quicker than keeping your file untreated for only God knows when.
And welcome back to the program. We start off today with another milestone of the CAC. Now, the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, has applauded the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, for upholding a culture of good documentation amongst other best practices. SON stated this during a management system certification audit to the Commission and noted with delight that documents in CAC were well controlled both in the head office and other state offices visited. The audit team lead, Engineer John Bature Francis, further stressed that they had an overview of the Commission's activities vis-a-vis its certification in the last 3 years. Engineer Bature noted with satisfaction the high level of management's commitment to the quality management systems, which he said was one of the many good practices noticed in the Commission. While recommending for the recertification of the Commission's processes, Bature, however, highlighted some minor non-conformities the Commission needed to make amends before their final visit.
We have the positive findings. We have the observations, non-conformities, that's major and minor non-conformities. But I just want to give a summary of the good practices we have observed in the course of this audit. We have observed high level of management commitment to the quality management system. We have equally observed that you have a good documentation process in place, that your documents are well controlled. We've also seen effort, deliberate effort to improve the system. We saw the effort you have made in terms of monitoring and evaluation of performance of your various processes at different levels. We saw deliberate action to improve on timeline and customer satisfaction. And we also saw the deliberate effort that is being made to monitor third-party organization, that is your external providers, both at the head office and at the state offices. We've observed also the deliberate effort that is being put into maintenance of infrastructure and the provision of a suitable environment for the people working within the organization. And lastly, we noted also your commitment to fulfilling compliance obligations.
Also speaking, Engineer Felix Inyado, who is the Director Management System Certification, who harped on the need for the maintenance of strategic plan, applauded the robust nature of the CAC's current strategic plan. He, however, said that the Commission needed to include other pillars in the current plan to further strengthen internal processes in order to achieve set objectives. Responding, the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, noted with delight the report of the SON audit team and commended their thoroughness during the exercise. Represented by Abdul Hakim Mohammed, who is the Director Compliance, the Registrar General restated the Commission's commitment towards continued improvement of its processes in line with global best practices. Now, CAC Weekly reports that high point of the visit was the presentation of the audit report, which is expected to culminate with the recertification of the Commission's processes in due course. We now shift gears to talk about a new form of business registration pursuant to CAMA 2020. Our esteemed viewers may recall that the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, commenced the registration of 2 new forms of business registration on the 31st of August 2021. The development followed the successful deployment of the online application for limited liability partnerships, LLPs, and limited partnerships, LPs. The Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, had earlier informed us that the LLP is a partnership arrangement with legal personality separate from the partners, and added that the liabilities of the partners of an LLP were limited to the amount agreed to be contributed or outstanding in the event of winding up. The Registrar General said an LLP shall have at least 2 designated partners who will be responsible for compliance with the requirements of the Act by the LLP. He, however, added that the designated partners shall be individuals, at least one of whom must be resident in Nigeria. On the LP, the Registrar General described it as a partnership arrangement with at least 1 general partner and at least 1 limited partner. He stressed that the liabilities of a general partner were unlimited, while the liabilities of a limited partner were limited unless he takes part in the management of the partnership. Alhaji Garba Abubakar further stated that an LP shall not consist of more than 20 persons and that the name of the LP shall end with the word limited partnership or the abbreviation LP. For more on the new arrangements, let's now go to our interview segment where Mr. Justin Idiabirawol, the Director, Commission Secretariat, tells us all we need to know about limited liability partnerships, LLPs. Do enjoy watching this interview. Good to have you on the program again.
It's a pleasure having me one more time.
Okay. We do understand that the LLP and the LP, that's the limited partnership and the limited liability partnership, are new forms of business registration under the CAMA 2020. For a lot of people who say, what kind of grammar is this? The partnership is partnership now. Which one is limited liability partnership? So before we go into all of that grammar, what exactly is a limited liability partnership?
Well, in a technical sense, the limited liability partnerships could be considered as what we call a hybrid business management organization. Hybrid in the sense that it partakes of the characteristics of both the limited liability company and the regular partnership.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why will somebody opt for a limited liability partnership rather than going for the limited liability company, the one he's conversant about?
Well, it has certain advantages. One that is obvious is that unlike the regular partnerships, the liability of the partners in this case are limited to what we call capital contribution for the partnership and also the members of the partnership, which is not available in the partnerships because the liability of the partners in a regular partnership is unlimited. What it means is that their property is exposed to risk if there is a liability arising from management of the partnership.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what makes it also different from other forms of registration or incorporation?
Well, like we said,
flexibility of decision making.
Flexibility of decision making. Because they are not strictly required to hold annual general meeting or extraordinary general meeting like the limited liability companies. Then apart from that, they also have the advantage that their liability is limited to their contribution, which we have already mentioned. Then we also recognize that unlike the ordinary partnerships, which can be terminated by either death or resignation of the partner, this one has what we call continuity, because by virtue of being a legal person, it means that a partner can exit and another partner comes in. So there is that continuity that it enjoys over and above that of the regular partnership.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now let's look at the requirements for incorporation. I'm sure one of the biggest attraction will be the cost of registration. Is it cheaper? Is it in any way cheaper?
Compared to the limited liability company, it is cheaper in the sense that its registration fee is a flat rate of 20,000 naira. It also does not require stamp duties.
Okay.
So in that sense, it could be regarded as cheaper.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the requirements of registration? The other requirements for registration?
There are certainly. One that is very important and common to all of them is that you have to get a name, and it is required in the case of a limited liability partnership that the name should end with a limited liability partnership or the abbreviation of LLP at the end of the name. Then once you get a name, you will be required to go through the availability process to check whether that name is available. And once you get the available name, then you go to the company's registration portal. You check the model for registration of limited liability partnership, and all other requirements will be in that online form.
Okay.
Yes. If we need to mention some of them, first of all, apart from the name, you will be required to fill in the objects. Then apart from the objects, you will be required to fill in the address. That's the registered office address of the partnership. Then you will fill in the details of the partners. And it is required that for a limited liability partnership, there should be a minimum of 2 persons that will come together to form the partnership. Then not only that, it will also be required that the limited liability partnership should have what we call a designated partner, a minimum of 2 of them. And this designated partner should be persons with flesh and blood.
Okay.
And one of them must be resident in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go to the agreement. Is there any legal binding aside from the consent between partners?
Well, they need for proper business etiquette, they need to have what we call partnership agreement, which defines how they will manage the companies, how somebody will leave the partnership if he desires to, how they will admit additional partners, and what will be their total individual capital contribution to the partnership. So those requirements need to be spelled out in the partnership agreement, which should also be registered with the Commission.
I know it was, launched sometime in August this year, and we did see some people who are already registered. But tell us, what is the response so far? Is it impressive?
Well, to date, we have registered about 8 of such business management organizations. Yes.
Okay. Who are the people qualified to register for this type of business registration?
Well, for individual, you have to be 18 years and above.
Okay.
Then for a company, you must have been registered.
Okay.
Yes, for you to be a partner in the limited liability partnership.
I don't know, you talked about professional bodies.
Yes, it has. The limited liability partnership has special appeal for professional groups.
Okay.
In the sense that if you look at the history of the partnership before now, the regular partnership is limited to 20 persons under the old Companies and Allied Matters Act, except if that firm or partnership is a firm of legal practitioners or chartered accountants.
Okay.
So, but this new legal regime has now provided a means in which the partnership could exceed that 20 if it is registered under the limited liability partnership.
Is it attractive to young entrepreneurs?
Yes, in the sense that they could bring their area of specialization. Now, if we take, for example, the legal profession, you could have people that specializes in litigation. You will have people that specializes in maritime practice. You will have people that specializes in corporate practice. You have people that specializes in human rights. So if these specialist young lawyers could pool their resources together, they can easily establish a limited liability partnership that will be robust enough and take care of divergent areas of legal practice.
Okay. What are the benefits of the limited liability partnership for a growing economy like ours?
Well, like we said, in this part of the world, we have not seen much of what we call the large partnerships. So most partnerships that we have, except in few professional areas, usually you have 2, 3, 4 people. But in other parts of the world, you find partnership that can boast of about 100 to 200 membership, in which case, apart from reducing unemployment, you will also find that these people will bring in both financial resources and their expertise to bear on the professional practice or the limited liability partnership.
Okay.
So in both ways, both financially and in terms of human resources, a nation benefits from the LLP.
Okay. Now that we are moving to the digital economy, is this going to play a key role?
For yes, why not?
Okay.
Why
okay.
not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are the challenges that the Commission has, experienced from August till date?
Well, the one that is obvious, like we have said, is that the response has rather been, we wouldn't call it poor, but we call it slow.
Okay.
Maybe because of lack of the awareness of the benefits of this new business management organization.
Okay.
But we are hoping that with time, as more and more people get the relevant knowledge about its usefulness, more people will key into it.
Okay. What about unforeseen circumstances?
Like?
I don't know.
Like business risk?
Yes. I didn't want to say that word. Yes.
Well, like any other business management organization, the limited liability partnership also is exposed to the risk, the common risk that is in the economy. Okay. Yes. Sometimes when the risk materializes, the organization could be wound up. But like we said earlier,
is it going to be a small risk or a bigger risk?
Well, not a bigger risk in the sense that we have not yet had the large limited liability partnership that possibly, if it is maybe wound up or dissolved, could cause dislocation of the economy.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But are we going to, as we're winding up, are we going to see the Commission produce, short videos on LPs and LLPs so that, people, can get more aware and, be able to register on their own? Is the Commission looking into that area?
Yes.
Because I do know we have short videos on all the other types of registration.
Yes. I think our ICT department with the public relations are already working towards realizing that objective. They will produce an animated instructor that will guide people on how to register the limited liability partnership step by step. But that animated video is still under development. We are hoping that by early next year, it will be released, and it will be of great benefit to those that are internet savvy or computer savvy. Those that are not too friendly with the verbal explanation that we are doing, they can easily key into that and follow the step-by-step procedure.
All right. I'm afraid we just have to leave it here. Mr. Nidia Justin Barrow, thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Company registration. To begin, reserve the company name that you intend to register and then proceed to click on Start Registration to begin. Step 1. Enter the details of the company. Click on Save and Continue. Step 2. Add the objects of the company. Click on Save and Continue. Step 3. Under Articles of Association, you can either create your own Articles of Association or simply adopt the default Articles of Association provided. You can also edit each part of the default Articles of Association to fit your company's purpose. Click on Save and Continue. Step 4. Under Directors, enter the details of at least one director. If you want to hide your residential address from public record, click on the Hide Residential Address from Public Record toggle button. Click on Save and Continue. Step 5. Under Secretary, this requirement is optional for small companies and you may skip the step by clicking on the Click Here link button to proceed. However, if you wish to add a secretary, click on the Add Secretary button, enter the details of the secretary, and click on Save and Continue. Step 6. Under Statement of Issued Share Capital, add the share details and enter details of proprietor and click on Save and Continue. Note, you must allot the entire issued share capital. Step 7. On the persons with significant control, enter the particulars of the person with significant control of the company. Step 8. Under Statement of Compliance, if you are an applicant or an accredited agent other than a legal practitioner, fill in your details and click on Save and Continue, or you can skip this step. Under Document Upload, scan and upload all the documents labeled Yes under the If Required column, and where the documents labeled Optional applies to you, please scan and upload to avoid a query on your application. Click on Save and Continue to preview. Step 9. Preview your entries, and if satisfied, click on the Proceed to Payment in order to make payment. Remember to remain on the remitter page after you have received a confirmation of payment. Step 11. After payment, you will be redirected to your dashboard where you will make payment for your stamp duty. After making payment, your application will enter the pending panel on your dashboard under registration. When your registration has been approved, your certificate will be automatically generated on your registered panel where you can download and print it.
The Corporate Affairs Commission is proud to partner with the Afro Hair Culture and Beauty Festival, taking place on the 10th and 11th of December at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. We understand that many lives and businesses have been affected negatively by the COVID-19 pandemic. CAC is simplifying the process for businesses to register at the festival on the spot. We will provide on-site registration desks which will help resolve common business registration complaints and concerns. I will also be speaking at this event, giving greater insight on how you can successfully start up a business and succeed during and after the pandemic. CAC encourages all Nigerians to be a part of this great festival, to take advantage of all these opportunities and many more.
So go on and visit www.africanhairsummit.org to register for free. We honestly can't wait to see you.
And that does it for this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We do hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, for comments and inquiries, you can please take advantage of our social media handles and our helplines. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. You could also visit our website via www.cac.gov.ng. And our helplines are on the numbers 081-822-99016 or 081-822-98971, 090-874-01398 or 090-874-01599 and 090-874-01600. Do join us next week for yet another interesting edition of the program CAC Weekly. Same time and same station. From me, Amina Jabril, and the whole team here, it is bye for now.